Alright, unfortunately, what you see here is a 2AZ FE. It's the 4-cylinder engine that I rebuilt for the Toyota Camry, the 2008, I want to say. It took a crap, like 7-8 months later, and I'm not sure what had happened, being that I've taken a lot of necessary and been very patient as far as assembling this engine. It's not my first go around, so I'm not sure what happened. But we're going to get to the bottom of what plausibly happened. You know, I did get a lot of things from Rock Auto, which some people in the comment section did question on the build as far as part quality go. But I have put parts, just like I said, it's not my first engine I rebuilt, and that damn thing is running pretty strong today. And all the other engines I rebuilt and bought stuff off of Rock Auto are running pretty good. And so I think what may have happened was probably me, and I'm going to take the first responsibility and assume that I've done something wrong, because I did put this together. And I'm not going to let my pride get in the way of damaging my integrity. I'm not going to let that compromise that. I mean, things happen. If somebody built a motor or built anything and said they haven't failed, and more power to them. I wish I was in their shoes. But not just on top of this, it's been abnormally slow this month, you know, and I guess I'm feeling the effects of the pandemic. This later, you know, luckily the vaccine's out, and hopefully things pretty much take course, and things slowly beginning to open up, but the government just continue to put on more mandates for these small businesses and stuff, and if people are not out commuting, then, you know, we get the short end of the stick. But I will say, save your money. I'm fine, I'm comfortable, and I will say the money from the ad revenue from YouTube definitely came in handy, and I do appreciate the viewers for watching, seriously. And I do feel for a lot of small businesses out there who haven't took the initiative to save and are putting definite financial hardship, and that's why I've really been, I don't make videos about it, but I definitely speak on it independently with the various people. I'm advocating for small businesses and people to open up, you know, and it's just unfortunate that this happened. But I digress. We're here to address this motor, and I'm not here to talk about my problems. So I'm going to get bits and pieces of breaking this down. We're going to look at the timing chain, look at the balance shaft, inspect the everything, pistons, pull the head off, all that, and it's definitely in the bottom end. And if the head looks feasible, like if it looks decent up top, I'm going to leave it alone. I probably might not go as far as pulling the head off. I might not go as far as that, but I will say when I pull that crank out and inspect the bottom end, if I see any scoring on the cylinder walls, then yeah, we will pull the pistons. But it still wouldn't be a bad idea to pull the pistons. We'll see what happens. You know how I am. I totally contradict myself and say I'm going to do something. I'm not going to do something, and I wind up doing it. And then things get tangential. So let's do the montage thing. we're going to inspect is the oil pump. If you look at it down in here, it does have, unfortunately, a metal shaving in there. Sitting in there. So yeah, there is bearing material, plausibly, or more than likely, they got in the crankcase here. Got the trigger wheel down here. That way everything was facing the appropriate direction. Let's see if I can pull that off. There's the F. That's front. Timing chain, you can see everything's brand new, from the oil pump down all the way down to the timing chain here. So all that's brand hammer new. I'm gonna pull the oil pump out. I can do this without breaking the chain off. So yeah, the oil pump's out, everything's fine with that. Here's our oil pan here. Here's our metal shavings. There's a hidden bolt when you're taking this sub assembly apart here. Take that out. It's tucked down in there. Once you take it out, it's tucked down in there. It's 12 millimeter. Should be able to take this whole sub-assembly apart with the balance shaft in place here. There's one more hidden bolt right here on the opposite side of the oil filter housing here. Let's see if we can go right. So here's the oil filter housing, another one hidden bolt, and there's the other one right across from it. All right, we got the balance shaft drive gear here. This is this crankshaft assembly. Here are our main end caps. Right here. It's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, the far end. So cylinder 1 is going to be here. This is number 1 rod end cap. Here's 2. This is where our problem is. Here's 3, which is fine. 4, which is totally fine. So let's pull this down here and inspect that and see what happened. It's going to be a 12 millimeter. Pull that down. I'm just going to see how the torque feels. And let's get this. We're going to inspect the lock here. Oh, she just straight up tore out of there, spun and everything. I mean, they can't. These rod end caps only can go in one way. So, I mean, the bearing material. I think the glare probably. Oh, gosh. the bearing. Let's see. Take a look in that journal. I mean, I'm likely not going to see any type of obstruction or anything. Let's see how number 1 look. That is pretty tight there. Turn it over. Yeah, she is a little rough. So, whatever had happened, number 2 just prematurely gave out before number 1 or any other journal. Let's pull the main cap off and inspect that. She a little rough in there. I mean, they were. Let's check. Let's check something further down. Let's do all the way down to number 4. See what it looks like. Yeah, whatever. I mean, whatever was in there, metal-wise, definitely contaminated all the oil, all the journals and bearings. So I'm pretty sure if it's here, it's gonna be down here. Now the crank, number 2, is definitely jacked up. The mains are okay. 1 is fine. I mean, I could have literally just, if they all look like 1 here, I could definitely put bearings in here and it'll work fine, of course, but I wouldn't do that. I mean, this block needs to be cleaned up very well. But 2 is definitely worn out. I mean, 2 is definitely worn. You can take a penny on that and it'll start showing copper. 1 is okay. Number 4 journal on the main is okay. Let's take a look at the oil pump. All right, here's the oil pump here. I did get this from Rock Auto, and I got the gear here. I'm gonna put it on. Try to rotate the oil pump. I can get it on there. And it definitely is seized up. I mean, this is where everything starts, and it'll be hard for me to say. Maybe the oil pump failed, and caused inadequate lubrication, and we got what we got. And I know somebody's very observant is going to see the glue that I put in here. Now, it was a very extremely light film. This is a machine surface, and like I said, I've done this before. It didn't have any problem. I'm talking about an extremely light film, so there's no way this glue could have got in there, damaged the oil pump, and caused this disaster that we got now. I mean, this is turning at several hundred RPM. You know, this is sealant. I mean, by that logic, the sealant inside of the block here, once I built the engine, should be accumulated here in the strainer, but it's not. So I'm not going to sit there and blame it on the sealant that I put inside on the mating surface for the oil pump here. I'm just not going to do that. But you know, I know there's some staunch people out there who are gasket persons, but the engine literally doesn't have gaskets except for the valve cover. Let's pull the oil pump apart. I think I'm gonna need a 10 millimeter. Pickup here of the oil pump. Now you could pry these ends out and we can inspect the strainer a lot more, but it's obviously got metal in there. And even then, you know, like I said, if there was anything that fell off material wise, it would have wound up in that strainer. There's no glue in there. I couldn't see glue being inside the oil pump here and damaging our engine. Got some dowel pins in there. All right, so the oil goes in through here from the pickup, fills this cavity. The impeller turns, it picks up the oil, and then it gets thrown out on this side here because it has a recess down in there. So it rotates, gets compressed and forced out the bottom. This void here gets filled, comes out here and goes into the engine block, and because of the clearance is being so tight, the back pressure hits this pressure spring here, and since it will be considered a pressure regulated spring, and it bleeds back off into the inlet, and then the process repeats, so it keeps its predetermined pressure. So I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the oil pump likely failed. That's my conjecture. So I'm not going to break my neck over what could have been prevented. I mean, it's the thing when you buy a bunch of parts, and even though they're brand new, things fail, and unfortunately it could have been something inside this oil pump here. I'm not going to blame it on the sealant, the RTV sealant and the glue of how I had this on there. That wasn't the problem. It was obviously some other issues going on. I'm just going to assume the oil pump failed. I'm not going to break my neck over it. But either way, I'm not gonna pull the entire block down. I mean, it's just the core. It's crap now. Nothing's on here is working. Nothing's on here worth salvaging, especially being that the metal particulates got circulated through the entire engine. So I'm gonna leave this as it is. But you know, mistakes happen, and it affects me more than probably what the comment section is going to probably do to me. But this hurts me a lot more because this is my business and my clients. But everybody's happy. Everybody's taken care of. That's the main thing. So you can let me have it in the comment section. I'm cool with that. But my biggest concern is keeping these clients. I don't do this for business. But I do appreciate the revenue. I really do. But other than that, hit that link. Subscribe to the channel. Stay informed. Have that reassurance in my work. See you on the next one.